Sip the boy water. God damn it! I also have a big book of jokes. We can't both do it.
Oh, what?
We can't. Okay, hold up. We can do it. All right, hold up.
No, we can both do it.
Count us in.
We can both do the same joke.
Count us in.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Every full moon, this thing goes on a rampage, looking for you. It's not gonna stop.
He's a dark prince. He seeks the girl. He desires to mate with her.
A homeless woman was found dead, possibly victim of a wild dog attack.
It's here.
Welcome to the party.
I didn't ask for any of this. It'll be romantic. Werewolves?
Yes, werewolves. They exist.
We get to hear all the great werewolf jokes.
Oh, great werewolves.
Yeah, like, what happened to the werewolf that ate too much garlic?
What?
His bark was worse than his bite.
Oh.
What do you call a werewolf with no legs?
Huh?
Anything you like. He can't chase you.
If people like sandwiches, what do werewolves like? Man-witches.
Why was the werewolf running so fast?
Why?
He was in a hurry. Or,
What do you call a sleeping werewolf? An unaware werewolf.
What? Why did the werewolf beat up another werewolf? Because that werewolf was a boxer.
Why do werewolves howl at the moon? Because no one else will do it for them.
What did the werewolf say to the math homework? I'll calculator.
Why do werewolves howl at the moon? No, when do werewolves go trick or treating?
No wait. Fuck, you fucked it up.
Halloween. Halloween.
why was the werewolf arrested in the butcher shop?
Why?
Because he was choplifting.
That's awful.
Or,
No more. That's bad.
Is this anything? Is this anything? Welcome to the podcast.
Hi everybody, welcome to Rough Cuts. I'm your host Ilya, and this is my wonderful co-host Boix.
This has been unreal.
And Unreal 1, which is the engine that they used for all of the special effects in this movie.
Making a lot of sense.
This is our podcast about good boys and bad movies, where we watch a bad dog movie and then immediately rate the dogs and do not talk about the movie. So let's talk about the movie.
Okay, so the movie's Dark Wolf.
Is that
Dark
what it was
Wolf.
called? Right, okay. I couldn't
You can
actually
tell
remember
it's
the
Dark
name of
Wolf
it.
because they say Dark Wolf about 40 times in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why I know it's called Dark Wolf.
I forgot. I just saw you showed me a collection of movies that you had as possibilities today, and I saw this and I went, the CW. I want the CW. I mean, said, no, it's DW for Dark Wolf, but it's definitely
Dark Wolf.
actually CW.
It's CW. It stars an actress from the OC, another actress from General Hospital, a Power Ranger.
Wait,
by the way,
wait,
that was the other
cop?
werewolf during the scene where on the roof, the dancing scene. The other girl, it was a pink,
she's the
or yellow Power Ranger. She wasn't Kimberly.
Wait,
she was a different Power Ranger.
Okay, well I don't know enough about Power Rangers, but she was a she was a
Power Ranger. And it's by the director of an episode of Lois and Clark. As well as Friday the 13th, the television series, not the movies.
Yeah. No.
The one nobody's seen.
This
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It feels like we were watching this. We're like, this is like season 3, season 4 of some series, and we're just jumping in the middle.
Oh, definitely feels like that. It also does feel very much like an actual CW show, except that it's like, we fire the producers and all of the people that are able to tell us that we can't say fuck. Like, it's definitely that.
If you like Gilmore Girls, you'll love Dark Wolf.
Got it? And honestly, yes. You might. You might.
There's nobody out there who's like, yeah, I'm a pervert for Buffy, but I want it to be sexier. Like,
no, there's Voix.
Well, Buffy perverts,
There's
sure.
no one out there like that. There's a lot of people out there.
But nobody's
like, that.
like James Cameron's or whatever it was, Dark Angel. Like, I want a Dark Angel sex show. You know, like, nobody's like that.
Okay, no, for Dark Angel, maybe not. Or at least I don't want to meet them. Except that I did, because it's who's the director for this? Because that's what they want.
That is what they want. This is definitely an exploitation film.
Oh,
like, top to bottom exploitation. But they only had so much exploitation they could fit into that 90-minute runtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to stretch it out from there.
I mean, when you talk about it being an exploitation film, you turned it on and went, oh, tits. Like, that fast.
It was frame 1.
Frame 1 is just straight up titty.
And then from frame 1, frame 2 is the same titty.
Yes.
And then frame 3 is the same titty, because they showed the same scene 3 times in a row.
Yes. And what do we mean? We don't mean like, oh, it's holding on it. We mean like, it just loops it.
They looped the same scene 3 times in the first 60 seconds of the film.
Yeah. It's just a
I don't know.
bar.
You could tell the editor was like, oh, fuck.
I don't know. I think the editor was like, oh, fuck.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Because the movie does open in a strip club.
Yes.
And then we're introduced to Dave Bautista at home.
I almost feel bad calling, because that's an insult to Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista's an okay actor.
It's not Dave Bautista then. It's Steven Seagal at home.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Okay, that's more accurate.
Okay, Steven Seagal at home, and he's at the bar with all these naked ladies, and then a cop just comes in mid-scene, and it's acting like this is like the second act of a film.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop arrests this guy, but not before he shows us his goosebump eyes that are like glowing.
Well, I had a thing to say about that, because my note on this was, oh yeah? Well, you point those guns at me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glow my eyes, stare, then let my hostage go and fall over.
And let you arrest me.
Because that's exactly what happens. He's holding this woman hostage, he glows his eyes at the cops, stares at them for like a good 30 seconds. It just constantly goes back and forth between them. And then he goes, oh shit. Turns around, drops the girl, and trips over his feet.
He trips over his own feet, gets arrested.
What?
This is kind of a cop werewolf movie? Kind of.
Kind of.
The other movie we watched, what was the People's movie? That was a Full Eclipse.
Full Eclipse.
Full Eclipse. That was another made-for-TV werewolf film. Which I think is better by a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot
somehow.
Better. I will say I think that movie is way better than this one, and maybe less interesting to watch than this one, if that makes sense.
Normally we start by talking about like the director and how much the film was like shot well and how it looks.
Oh yeah, we always talk about how well shot everything is in this podcast.
Everything is so well
good.
shot and good. This film was shot on 35mm, which is a shame.
That sucks.
They fucked up because it looks like it wasn't.
No, yeah,
it like every scene. And I don't know. This is such a weird film to talk about because the whole movie doesn't make sense from start to finish.
No, the plot is absolute nonsense.
So like the the bad guy gets arrested immediately and gets thrown in the back of a cop SWAT vehicle or whatever. And then he transforms into a werewolf in the back, punches through pure steel.
Yes.
To kill the two guys in the front, and then runs off as a CGI dog.
Yeah.
To which then we're introduced to our main character, FBI man, who's like, damn, that was my partner that died in there. He was about to retire.
Don't you mean DEA man?
DEA, FBI, they don't know who he is.
And also, like, detective. He's
detective.
He's all
shirtless detective.
He's detective FBI DEA man.
He's abs man.
God, he's everything. It's so funny because he's like, oh man, that guy in the front was my partner. Anyways, partner, let's leave. Because he has another partner.
Because we find out, so there's this lady cop who was assigned to him.
Polycule.
Yeah, this lady cop was assigned to him on temporary duty, and they're partners. They don't get along, you know, and they have to make it work. And also, that other guy that died was his partner, but it's fine because he's got a new one now.
But he lost him first day, and you're the replacement, and you'll never replace
whoever that was.
Guy, and also, you wouldn't understand what we're doing here. You just get out of my office. This is like 3 minutes into the movie.
3 minutes in, and it feels like 45 minutes in a different movie.
Yeah, because like you mentioned at this time, you're like, this is like I think your exact wording was, this is like 70 minutes into an actual cop film. Yes. Where they're having like the falling out of like the new partner, because he's having like this big argument with her.
I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah,
and it's like you haven't introduced either of these characters. Who are these people?
But then out of nowhere, he's like, you see that shit? I see that shit every day. You don't know anything, partner. You know who that is? You heard about the story? You see, they were the Moonlight Slashers. You hear that tale? They were wolves, and they were hybrids. There's two of them. There's werewolves, and there's hybrids. You see, a Saxon knight 900 years ago fucked a werewolf. And you're like, what is happening? Where are we? What scene are we in?
Yes. And then he goes on about hybrids and werewolves, and she goes, I don't believe any of that shit. And he goes, you just watched a werewolf rip through steel and kill 2 people. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And then she's like, what are you loading in that gun? Silver bullets?
And he goes,
yeah.
Yes, I just said werewolves. Yep, that's the thing.
Let me guess, vampires are real too? Is there a vampire hunter? Oh yeah, Blade exists. Blade's in this universe too, don't worry.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
God damn it. So then he takes her down to a Chinese restaurant, 50s style diner that's open late night.
Somehow / bar.
Yes, it's like a bar, but it has diner tables with like 50s style, you know, like those metal kind of chairs, and like the really cheap tables, and they've got like ketchup and mustard and stuff on it. And then he's like, I'm gonna just like get my coffee to go kind of thing. And they're just getting these shitty like styrofoam cup coffees. Well, also the menu board behind them is all chow mein and dumplings. And it's like, And
then there's also people in the background eating like fine dining like pasta.
Where are they? What is that? And it's like 3 a.m. from the lighting and stuff. Like, it's just nonsense. But he meets this there's actually a couple of scenes.
Yeah, because there's an old lady in the alley who's alley lady.
Mm-hmm.
First she meets a waitress at the Chinese restaurant bar / fine dining establishment.
Yes,
and that's Josie, our other quote unquote main character, I guess.
Yeah.
You think it would be the lady cop that's his partner. However,
that's his new rookie partner who's been kind of the focus at this point. Yep.
No, but so old lady in the alley is like, "Oh, hey Josie, how's it going? I brought your favorite meal to the alley."
They're trying to say that she's homeless eventually,
I guess.
But she's in like a nice suit and like like, she looks well off, right? Like, she's wearing, like, a beret and...
She's wearing a beret and, like, a big, I don't know, trench coat, I guess.
But, like,
some
none
sort
of
of a
it
nice
sells
coat. Yeah.
Like, none of it feels filthy or homeless or, like, right? It feels fancy old grandma, not homeless person.
And then Josie, who's, like, in her 30s...
Yes.
is telling this old lady in the alley who has brought her a meal on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know, I feel like I've been really going through like puberty lately or something. I'm just feeling really empowered. Like there's a lot of change going on in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't touch anyone. Ever.
And then immediately touches the old woman. By the way.
What did I just say? And then Josie leaves. So then our FBI, DEA cop guy shows up.
There's one other scene in between here that I was also going to mention. Because
right.
Because this movie just... This is the thing. There's so much that's just jumping all over the place. You then also have a scene of other random girl and guy that are like...
Oh, that!
They look...
I forgot about that.
They look like they're, like, 17? I mean, like, they're older. The actors are older. But they're playing them like they're fucking high school kids or something, right? Like
something weird. They're like college frat something or another, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, this is the one kind of redemption a little bit that we were like, wait, maybe this movie's got something, because,
it does not.
It does not. But I did kind of appreciate how much of a dipshit they made this dude. This dude is, like, driving his car, and he's going, well, you're my girlfriend's friend, why don't you help me hook up with her, kind of thing. And he's going on. And he starts being this possessive dickbag, where apparently his girlfriend, who we don't know, I don't know if they even name...
They don't tell us who it is yet, no.
No. And it's just like these two random characters, just out of nowhere. And he's like, well... you guys say that she's doing art, but I don't want her putting her titties up on the internet. Which, she's not putting her titties up on the internet. She's getting art photos done.
She's doing, like, professional photography, but they're also, like, somewhat tasteful nudes.
Yes. And he's just losing his shit over it. And she's like, and the friend of the girlfriend that's with him in the car for some fucking reason is going... Dude, fucking shut up. And then he goes like, well, you're her friend. You should tell me how to hook up with her. He's like, yeah, I am her friend, which is why I wouldn't ever help you with that. Like,
mind your own fucking business.
That rules. She was great.
Yeah.
She was great. But, boy.
But they introduced those characters for, like, no reason.
That's just the scene. It's just her flipping through a book of tasteful, kind of, art nudes. And showing it to him while he's driving, by the way, which is really funny. And then driving, and then that's it. And then we get to all the bag lady stuff. And
the cop guy shows up, and starts talking to old lady in the alley. She's like, you know, I've been protecting this bloodline for 900 years. A very random number, which is not the same number you said the Saxon fuck that werewolf.
Don't worry about it.
10 minutes earlier?
Don't worry about it.
Anyways, here's my werewolf book. It's a book of tantric sex for werewolves.
It's a book of tantric sex for werewolves that you're not allowed to read.
Written in human blood. It's too hot for humans to read.
Yes.
Only werewolves.
Only werewolves. You have to give it to the waitress that I just met. But I couldn't give it to her because that would be straightforward and solve more of the plot faster.
Because he's like, why can't we just help her and tell her what's going on so that she just isn't fucking weirded out by this transformation thing? Oh, I can't do that. Why? It's funnier if she figures it out on her own.
The other thing here is...
What?
This guy is, I'm werewolf cop. I'm here to stop werewolves. Anyways, here's this lady who's a werewolf. And she's my friend. And I'm gonna do what she says and help her. Wait, what? Why? I was like, well, because... See, Josie is a hybrid, and there's a dark wolf that's like a special bad, extra bad werewolf, that's going to mate with her, and then that's going to make them not hybrids, and it's going to make them purebloods, and that's going to make new purebloods, and that's going to make real problems because then both of the races are going to get wiped out because...
Do they know anything about DNA sequencing? I don't think they do.
What? You don't... If you have a hybrid and a hybrid mate, then obviously it becomes pureblood again, right?
Did you just dunk your mic?
I did dunk my mic. Shut up. I hand talk, okay? I'm not taking it again. God damn it.
Speaking of not taking it again.
We will not do 2 takes.
Josie goes into the bisexual lighting bathroom of the Chinese diner slash fine dining restaurant.
Slash coffee shop.
I don't know why there's bisexual lighting in the back in this room. The
lighting in
that
this
was intentional.
Whole movie is fucked, dude. The lighting throughout this whole movie is fucked. It's so bad.
But she starts goosebump eyeing out, and what I mean by goosebump eyeing is like that really shitty effect where they go over the film later and just like paint over the eyes in digital with a single color
with just red. It's just a very bad red glow, like terrible look.
And she's freaking out, so she leaves, and as she's leaving, she bumps into Cop Lady, who like knocks out her bag from her hand, and then she picks it up and grabs her hands and like shakes her hand and touches her head and like
rubs all over her.
And she's like, "Oh, my bad." Oh.
They both strip down, start grabbing asses, and
this is important.
Wait, no, never mind.
This is important because Bag Lady, Book Lady, Alley Lady was like, "Hey, if she touches anybody with her bare skin, Darkwolf is gonna smell her on them and then kill them horribly dead."
Why?
Anyway.
So wait, Darkwolf can smell her, right?
Only on other people. Only on other people.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
no,
like,
yeah,
the whole thing is that he's supposed to be finding her to mate with her to breed apocalypse wolves, I guess? Question mark? And then, but he can't smell her, he can only smell other people. Okay, anyway.
That's making no sense.
Oh,
okay.
Like all of the movie, yeah.
I know a lot of this probably isn't making much sense.
It's making no sense!
So, Cop Lady goes into the bathroom, the bisexual lighting bathroom, and the Dark Wolf shows up through the window and grabs her.
Yes.
And she's super dead. And then the Dark Wolf also kills Alley Lady.
Yeah.
At the same time, Cop Guy lost his cool werewolf porn book written in human blood on human skin. Like a Necronomicon.
From the good werewolves that he likes, you know, from all their human skinning that they do.
Yep. And that gets picked up by Friend Lady and her jock boyfriend.
Yeah, they just show up. They just
take the book. They're like, "Oh, is this porn?" And then they just grab the book.
And it's it's hand waved that, oh, he's the boyfriend of Waitress Girl?
I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And, God, but yeah, they kill the rookie cop, like the one that it seemed like she was protagonist because she's the fish out of water, right? Like he already.
Yes,
because the whole thing
she's the Axel Foley of this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like it makes sense for her to be the stand-in for the audience because he's sitting there and going like, "Oh well, the werewolves 900 years ago and blah blah blah, blah and now we've got to stop the dark wolf and then the other werewolves and I've used silver bullets."
Why else did he spend so much time explaining the plot to her?
Well, right, like yeah. I mean, he already knows everything, so he's not the interesting character. Like the other way that should have happened because he's supposed to be the cop that knows all this and has it down and is like seasoned in this stuff. He should be the one that gets killed right away, and then she has to
deal with it.
And she has to deal with it as like, oh my god, I'm in way over my head.
Because if you weren't a hack fraud, if you were writing a story,
you were an actual writer.
Then we, the audience, could fill in that role and pick up all the things that she's learning as she learns them. And then we can go through her head like, oh, we need to get this thing because these werewolves are different. They don't just die to silver bullets. They also need this because they're hybrids. And we didn't know that before or something, you know? But she just fucking dies.
No. Yeah. She gets murdered.
So I was like, okay. So then the cop who has now lost 2 partners in the same day is looking for a 3rd partner.
Uh-huh.
So he wanders off. Anyways, we then cut from there to friend and boyfriend of the waitress, who have now wandered over to a photography studio of the porn / softcore tasteful nude guy, who's not at all tasteful nude guy.
No, he's not tasteful nude guy. Like, the photos
Now that we
they
find
had
out.
were just, like, they were fine. They weren't, like, particularly artistic, but they were okay. Like, and they were obviously not just, like, softcore porn.
No, but
They were done
what he's shooting
as
is
art.
definitely softcore.
But then when he's shooting, oh yeah, and he's like sitting there like, yeah, like you make love to her, oh yeah, like he's just like this super creep.
So the jock guy's like mad because he can't get a hold of Josie on her phone after the incident at the Chinese diner place, because cop guy has abducted her.
Yes.
To take her to
Literally
a safe
abducted
location.
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's going
Quote,
like,
unquote.
well, am I under arrest? I want to leave. And he's like, you can't. Just won't let her.
So he's like, I've tried everything. I've gone to her apartment. I've gone to the diner. I've called all of her friends. And then friend lady's like, did you call her cell phone? Fuck.
Well, yeah. and the thing is, they portray it as he did, but you can kind of tell the actor, like, didn't... It looked like he was surprised by the question, so it's like, did he not read the lines? Or, cause she's like...
Was it ad-libbed?
Like, did you call her phone? And he's like... I mean, yeah, I wouldn't forget that. Like,
so we, the audience, are like, oh, he did not call her
He
cell
did
phone.
not call that cell phone. And then he immediately, like, excuses himself because he's like, I'm gonna go and look in all the police stations or something to try and find her. And we're like, he's going out of the room
going
so he
to
can
call her.
call a cell phone and not look like an asshole. That's what he's doing. So he walks out of the apartment, and then as he walks out of the apartment, we are treated to a transition. It's Rookie Cop. She's not dead.
She's in the hospital. Totally fine.
Totally
getting healed.
Well, I mean, not totally fine. She's in a total pitch black room like they keep hospitals. This is why I'm saying the lighting's fucked. Is everywhere is lit like it is 1 a.m. in a dark alley. Like everywhere is
the dark alley's a different scene.
No, we're gonna get a lot of dark alley. Oh, I know. But like, she's laying in this perfectly dark room, and this nurse comes in and starts doing stuff for her, and then leaves. And then Werewolf comes in and kills her again!
She died twice.
She dies twice!
For no reason.
Main cop man has 2 partners, and they get murdered 3 times!
I don't
We were
even.
like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Maybe she'll recover, and then she'll be... Because I was like, oh, she's gonna turn into a werewolf because she's been bitten. So then she's gonna have, like, this whole little arc kind of thing, and she's gonna be the main character. No, we just wanted to kill her twice. Why?
I guess.
Why? What was the point? They could have just killed her in the dining.
They could have just cut the
Chinese
scene. They could have just
place?
cut the scene. It was pointless.
Exactly.
There was no
Like,
reason.
they could have just said that she was dead before, because it looked like she was dead. We thought she was dead. And then all of a sudden she's in the hospital. And then she dies again, and it's just... What? Like,
But
why?
it hard cuts from her dying the second time
Mhm.
to back to the photography studio.
Yes.
And their makeup artist for their softcore porn is just flipping through the werewolf porn book.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, damn, that's hot.
Oh my god, these are
Oh my
ideas
God.
I can use.
Oh, wait, I have an idea. So he goes up to, like, the model.
Yeah, because
the
they have
model.
another model.
And he
also
grabs this, like, sky blue paint and just starts painting her face blue, which is not a werewolf color.
No, it just starts
And he
bluing
just
her.
starts, like, smurfing her up. She just looks like a smurf.
It's better than what he's doing to the other friend who's the girlfriend of the photographer, apparently?
Apparently, and she also does photos, I guess. And he's like, wait, no. There's all these pictures of these lesbian werewolves in this book. I got a great idea. I'm gonna smurf you, and I'm gonna brown face. Oh, hold on.
Wait,
hold on.
Hold on. No, I got this. Don't worry. It's okay. It's tasteful. This will
It's
be
not-
tasteful.
It is not tasteful. It is not tasteful at all, readers.
It's okay. I will tastefully brown face you. It's totally fine. I'm Latino. I'm allowed to do. Like, it's just like, no. Like, but that's kind of like. It's unreal how bad the makeup he's doing on them is too. It's very funny because they have an actual makeup artist who, when they show their full makeup, it's pretty good.
It's okay.
Like,
it's
it's
pretty
fine.
good.
It's not bad.
It's fine.
It's not bad. I think that it's
But when the
pretty okay.
actors are putting it on their face, it just looks like they're just smearing blue
They're
on their
just
cheek.
smearing blue and stuff. Like, it's just a solid, terrible color. Like, it has, when you get real makeup done from an actual makeup artist, which is why you can tell there is one on set eventually, it has like layers and depth to the color. Right? Do you know what I mean?
Like you'll see like tones of the face and the cheek and the bones,
And
like, they
it'll
will actually
shade
put
it.
effort into it and shading it. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, because you'll get like shading where, like you said, like the eyes will, even though you're all blue, it's not a single solid like neon blue. It's like blue, and then it goes darker around the eyes, like where you would normally have shade, and your skin would be darker, and like things like that. So they get all this depth and stuff out of it. And they have that later. But
this
for
is
this,
more like the Blue Man Group just blued them.
Yes, it's just straight up like, and fucking other girls just getting brown face.
And the brown face is so bad.
It's so bad.
But the whole reason is so that they can go to the rooftop and have a lesbian softcore electronic dance scene.
For 15 minutes.
Maybe 20.
It's wild
Maybe
how
20.
long this goes on. And it is extreme softcore porn, as in, like, they are zooming in, it's full nudity, they're zooming in on hands on asses, grabbing each other, moaning, writhing around, kissing necks, like, it's the whole thing.
No, you might think it's sexy, but it's interspersed with another scene, which is very not.
A scene that's been going on for a while, actually.
It keeps going, yeah, because their editing is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going from the softcore Smurf dance on the roof.
Yes.
To back to Cop Guy and Josie.
Yeah.
At the hotel that he is abducted her to. Mm-hmm. And they're watching the news, and then the news is on the anchor. And the anchor's like, there was a murder today, like 10 minutes ago in this alley.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody watched it, but nobody knows who did it. It was like a big dog or something. And then it starts panning over to Steven Seagal. like if it was the film, so, like somebody was taking a movie shot, and they're like, "Look, he's in the background." But this is the news anchor, like camera guy.
Also, you say in the background, but he's
standing like next to the anchor,
6 inches away. Like, it's not, he's not in the background and they slowly zoom in on him. He is next to her and they slightly pan over until he's the only thing in frame with like a lead underneath him, like the news lead,
like
underneath.
If my news crew did that, I would fire that cameraman.
Oh, instantly.
What the fuck are you doing?
And then he just gives them his goosebump eyes on national television because
his goosebump eyes are because he knows Josie's watching the news. It's the 5 o'clock news. Of course she's watching it.
Everyone watches the 5 o'clock news.
So
on
then
Kron,
she
on
feels,
KRON, our local news station.
Yeah, she feels uncomfortable, so she goes to the bathroom and she starts goosebumping out.
Yes.
And then she falls into the tub. And Cop Guy's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And he rushes in, and she is like, Spock makeup mixed with Worf, from Star Trek. Like she's got the Worf like forehead and brow, but like the Spock ears.
She very much looks like a Romulan or something. Like, it doesn't look at all werewolf. It reads very, very much like weird offshoot of Star Trek race.
So then she transforms back for some reason, and then Cop Guy's like, "Well, at least you're not a werewolf now, and plus we can make very good werewolf jokes." Have you heard this one? And he opens up his big book of laugh out loud jokes for kids, a 3-in-1 collection. And just starts reading werewolf jokes to her.
Like the worst jokes. It's so bad. At the same time, there is another scene that's also been going on this whole time.
Yeah.
Which is one of the funniest things in the movie. Because boyfriend had stepped out to non-embarrassingly phone her on her cell phone, which he had obviously forgot to do. Voix has his head in his hands.
This fucking movie.
It's so good. This is my favorite thing. And he goes outside, and he goes, wait, I'm in an alley. Wait, how do I get out of the alley? And then he tries to open the door that he just came in on. He's like, oh, it's locked. Where do I go? And then he just wanders in the alley where he's stuck. He's stuck in the alley. It's literally an alley.
Just leave the alley.
Like,
just go. You don't need to go back in the door. Just leave the alley.
Just leave the alley. And he phones them on, like, while they're doing their makeup, but they've turned up some, like, really shitty new metal because they're like, whoa, we're really inspired by this tantric werewolf sex. And he's like,
they're having a tantric werewolf sex makeup party. I get it. Yeah.
And he's leaving messages on their answering machine as they're having all this bwop, 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 bwop music. And he's like, man, I'm in an alley and I don't know how to get out. It's so fucking funny.
So he's just wandering around in the alley. He picks up a flashlight at some point. And just starts knocking on random doors till he finds one that's open. And that door leads him to the box dimension.
He goes to the box dimension.
And he just wanders around a bunch of broken cardboard boxes and like planks of wood.
Remember that he was trying to just leave, go in his car, and get to a police station.
But somehow he's in the box dimension.
What is he doing?
And also, at some point, he lost the phone he was calling people with.
Yes, yeah.
So in the box dimension, he finds his phone, and there's also a spooky werewolf that kills him. That werewolf has been hiding in the box dimension. This is important. The whole time, waiting for him near his phone, he's like, oh, this is going to be good.
Because you constantly see it. It constantly cuts to, like, werewolf face in the rafters going like as he's like searching around with his flashlight, and it's interspersing all of this with hands on asses, like super sexy
neck kissing and licking and everything. It's everything.
Like licking up her belly button.
But it'll cut from that to then like them just dancing like fairies, like in a forest for no reason, but on the roof, and it looks dumb as shit. And they're just like grabbing random pieces of cloth to like, is this anything? Is this sexy?
Well, and also, it also keeps cutting to the photographer and his very creepy assistant. Who's in a turtleneck because he's an artist, you see.
Well, he's also a Christian, though.
And yes, he does like a cross at one point because he's so turned on by this scene.
Oh, Jesus, help me from this lesbian Smurf werewolf scene I'm shooting.
And it's constantly cutting to them they're obviously not, like you said, you're like, they're not actually on set watching.
They're in a different set.
Because they're, like, having weird reactions to it, and constantly he's like, woo, like, pulling at his collar and doing all this stuff, like, oh my god, it's so hot, and it's, like, almost played for comedy, and then you go back to, like, actual softcore porn over and over.
It's softcore porn, guy in the alley.
Yes.
Knock jokes, softcore porn.
Yeah. Guy pulling his turtleneck because he's too hot.
Turtleneck,
so
knock joke.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be so hard to do this on purpose.
It's really hard to do it this bad on purpose. Oh, it's so good.
Anyways, that scene ends.
Yeah, he gets mauled.
The jock guy dies.
In the climax of them, like, doing the sexiest part of their werewolf thing.
And
I guess.
You can almost... I've seen this before in exploitation films where they're like, here's a sexy scene with dancing, and then cut that to gore in a different scene. You're like, oh, this, like, sex blood. Oh, we're saying something about...
Yeah.
We're saying something about art. And like, no.
No, you're not. No. So
the photographer goes back to the dark room to develop the film that he got from his softcore lesbian Smurf werewolf pornography. And it keeps cutting back and forth from him developing the film and looking like he's about to masturbate
Yeah.
To then like, what's that scene from Community where he's like looking at the small piece of paper very closely?
Yeah.
It's like that, where he's trying to look at the photo because he sees something different, but us, the audience, don't see anything weird about the photo.
No. Although you know that it's going to be werewolf in the photo.
The wolf in the photo. Like, it's a classic joke.
Yes. Which is extra funny because we want to draw the audience's attention to a thing that we also mentioned. Werewolf could not have been in those photos because it was harassing the weird jock guy in the alley in the box dimension.
It was in the box dimension of the alley.
The entire time.
So there's no way that werewolf could have been there.
No. It literally shows it mauling him while he's taking the photos. Like
so as he's figuring out this discovery, it's cut back and forth with his makeup guy answering the door because somebody's knocking on the door, and it would be impolite not to answer it.
Obviously.
So he answers the door, and there's a naked Steven Seagal there.
Why
is he naked in this scene when every other scene he is not? I don't... Just for some reason.
Well, anyway, we get to see Steven Seagal's full-grown biker ass.
We get to see his full-grown biker ass, and then the transformation scene. The first transformation scene. These are magic.
Oh, this movie is so good. I loved watching this.
This transformation scene is partly why I said it's such a shame they shot this on 35mm, because it should not have been. They have fucked up.
It's a crime. It's an absolute crime to art.
So the transformation is, can you imagine, like, PS1 graphic, maybe early PS2 if I'm generous.
That's very generous. That's very generous. This is pre-rendered PS1 cutscene.
Maybe N64 if we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, actually. Transformation of a man into a different man who is slightly hairier.
Yes, in a weird werewolf.
And
thing,
it looks so bad. It's like from Blood Rain or something.
It's terrible.
And then it cuts from that to a real life costume. And you and I have experience with this exact same PS2 graphic ass transformation to FMV, and that is the Quiet Man.
Oh yeah, it's seamless, just like that.
This is Quiet Man coded. But the costume is like bulky. It's got these big bulbous arms, and you're like, wait, that doesn't look right. Something is... I understand why they didn't want to show the costume much in this movie, and they only did like close-ups of the face. And I went back to that scene because I was editing to figure out where the transformation was, and I paused it. I know what they did, and then I researched it, and I verified what they did.
Oh.
The werewolf costume is a gorilla costume.
Oh.
Which has been altered to be a werewolf from $90 worth of material that they bought at a craft store.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds about right.
To change it into a werewolf. And I have another little factoid based on this $90 gorilla costume that I learned about. This movie had a budget of $2.5 million.
What the fuck?
But they could only afford $90 on a rented gorilla costume.
Well, I'm assuming that they had to pay like $1 million to that one Power Ranger to do the lesbian sex scene for an hour.
Probably. I think that is literally her only nude scene in all of cinema, by the way.
Well, I hope she got fucking, like I said, I hope that she got like $1 million out of that budget. I hope she got fucking paid, because it sucked. And it sucked for this movie.
But he turns into a gorilla wolf.
Yes.
Using PS2 graphics. And kills the makeup guy. So, at the same time, the girls... who were our models, find the body of dead boyfriend in the box dimension.
Correct. Yeah, because they're like, wait, he had a message on the answering machine, and we had our AirPods in, and so we didn't know. Oh God! Oh!
We were having a Smurf makeup party. Oh jeez.
He can't figure out how to get out of the fucking alley. Let's go help him.
So then
they break into a random different building also.
They do. And find that.
And find his body.
we hear a knock on the door in the dark room. They've been setting up this joke of the werewolf going into the dark room after he sees him in the photo.
For like
which can't
15
exist.
minutes?
For like 15 minutes.
Like, it's honestly,
then,
it's cut to him, what, 6 times now?
Easily.
And every time he's like getting a little closer into the photo, like, what is that? And it's like, just fucking do it. Just do it. Stop fucking teasing this.
And then the door slams open. You're like, oh god, it's the scene. And it's the two girls running in and be like, oh, I hope we weren't doing anything important here with your dark room. It's all lit now, motherfucker.
It's so funny because it's like, whoa, knock. I could have been doing anything in here. And like you said, like, he looked like he was a moment away from either finding the werewolf or jerking it. And
could be either.
Then he gets really upset at them for opening the door, and they immediately slam the door open and turn on all the lights, by the way. Just as an aside. Like, they grab the light switch and turn it all on. And he goes, why would you do that? I could have been doing anything in here. Anyway, look at these photos. And just start talking to them. I'm like, those are all ruined. They're all ruined.
They're all ruined. They're all gone.
Like,
but, okay, so just like how Jock Guy was like, yeah, I called her.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely gonna masturbate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why he was mad, because he didn't give a shit about those photos.
No.
But anyway, so they wander back into the apartment, and they find dead makeup guy. And then they're saying, oh my god, this other guy's dead. And also this other person's dead. There's so many people dead. I wonder what's happening around here. Wow.
There was also a really great throwaway line here, because he appropriately goes, wait, you guys walked through this to get back to me and didn't tell me that, like, the artist is dead and, like, all the buildings destroyed? And they're like, well, we came in the back way.
No, we didn't go through here, dummy.
What?
We took the alleyway.
What? Like, what is the layout of this building?
So then suddenly the werewolf shows up and attacks them. Mm-hmm. He attacks one of the models, and the other model gets under a table. But when I say under a table, I mean her feet are under the table and her body's sticking out the front. And then you said, like, oh, that won't work.
Like, she's hiding under a table. How does this work? And you go,
and then
it does not.
It doesn't work. And then she gets immediately grabbed from under the table. Murdered. So then photography guy's like, don't worry, I got this. I've got the perfect invention. I saw this on TikTok. Rest in peace, TikTok. Or it's back already? Whatever.
Oh, God, we don't need... Maybe
anyway,
it's Schrodinger's TikTok while we're in the middle of this. Let's not talk about what's happening in the real world.
So what weapon does he use to take care of the werewolf?
He uses the Vision Deleter Jr.
Vision Deleter? How many mega lumens is that?
He basically grabs a really big flashbulb and just starts blasting. Just getting them in the eyes over and over. Which, by the way, as an actual photographer, those things are real fucking bright. That would actually suck.
That would blind the shit out of you.
It would really suck. It wouldn't actually blind you permanently or anything. Like, I don't think you wouldn't get any permanent damage, but man, you would suck. You would not be able to see for a minute. Yeah, it would definitely disorient you.
So him and one of the model girls gets away. I don't know if that's his girlfriend or if it's the other girl. I lost track of which girl
it was his girlfriend. This is the like friend of Josie, the werewolf girl that
that was
Jockman
in the
was
car
asking
originally with
exactly.
Jockman. Okay.
Yeah.
But they run into like an old service elevator, which the werewolf can't get through because it has a chain link fence on the front of it. And as we all know, that werewolf cannot plow through solid steel.
Absolutely not, unless it's to get at cops.
Yeah, that werewolf loves getting at cops.
He loves getting at cops. We're gonna get to that.
But so they go up in the elevator, and the werewolf can't follow them because it's up.
Dogs can't do uppies.
So they're just hiding in the elevator, and the photographer's like, werewolves, bro. I bet that was a werewolf, not a zoo animal. A big werewolf. Everybody knows it's werewolves.
I mean, it's kind of hard for it not to be anything. It has to be at this point when you're looking at this.
So then, for literally no reason, I need to point out, the cop and Josie are at a motel.
Yes. Like 2
towns away, based on the highway they were driving on.
Yep, and he's like, oh, I can't... No matter who else dies, it doesn't matter. I can never take her anywhere near that city or anything ever again.
Nowhere
I have to
close
watch
to
her.
Dark Wolf.
Yep, I gotta, be real careful the whole time.
So anyway, they're at the apartment now. The one with the werewolf?
Yeah, the place that he said that he'd never take her.
And Josie just starts wolfing out. And by wolfing out, I mean another PS2 transformation into Sindel from Mortal Kombat Anthologies.
Yes.
Or whatever. A PS2 Mortal Kombat game. Armageddon.
She even has, the white streak in her hair for some reason.
It's the white streak in everything, and the long hair that is, bulked up and goes... It's the peanut butter solution.
And she starts going... Meow,
meow, I'm a cat. That's a werewolf noise. Meow.
And
so then,
sniffing him...
Yeah, and then, so cop FBI DEA guy is like, I know, I'll read the porn book. And he grabs the human skin, human blood werewolf porn book that he was told not to read.
And that he also didn't remember to take from that crime scene, but Jockman and the girlfriend did, and somehow he just randomly finds it here again. Is like, wait, it's the cool book that I was actually supposed to do that's really plot important. Anyways, who put that here?
Flipping through, nope, porn. Oh, that one's pretty nice. Nope, porn. Oh, here's the one to transform you back. It says I just need to, push you naked outside so you can look at the moon or whatever.
Yeah, because, when werewolves see the full moon, they turn from werewolves into people.
It happens once a month. They're werewolves every other time.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, that makes sense.
As we know.
So she PS2 transforms back in a seamless transition.
Oh, yes.
And then she, calls her friend, I think. That's still in the elevator.
Yes, correct, yeah. Oh, no. Her friend calls the apartment.
That's what it is.
Which is really fucking weird.
Why would she call the apartment?
Oh, everyone there is dead. She knows they're all dead. They ran from there because there's a bunch of dead people. And she calls the apartment, and Josie picks up and is like, hi, this is a random apartment we broke into. How are you doing today? And they go, Josie, what are you doing there?
Oh, we're just stuck in an elevator. We're on 7th Street. Oh, wow, that sounds really far. Yeah, it's across the street. There's an alley.
There's an alley in between. Don't get lost there for an hour. Your boyfriend's a real dipshit.
You go out the door, it's 10 feet across the street. Across the sidewalk, really.
Yes.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
So goddamn good, dude. So good.
So then they come up with a plan to run out the elevator. So they do that, and they make it to the getaway car that the cop and Josie have lined up for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just so they can do the scene of the werewolf jumping on the car as they do a chase and run away. But he takes them to the police station. So the whole group's together.
I'm so mad about this, because the werewolf jumps on the car. The cop is strapped, and they keep constantly showing him, loading Uzis and assault rifles, and,
silver bullets, too.
And, a bunch of magnums, and, he's got, this full fucking arsenal of all these rifles and, machine guns and all this stuff. And he's got, 3 guns holstered to him. And he never fires a shot. He just doesn't, he just drives away from the guy.
There were so many scenes of somebody holding a gun on the werewolf, never shooting it, and then the werewolf just walks off screen.
Yes.
Or kills somebody.
Or kills somebody else, yeah.
Okay, so why were you holding the gun? It was pointless? There was nothing happening?
Yeah, so he takes them to the police station, and he goes, alright, sit in the back. We're gonna do a Terminator.
Right, yeah, so Seagal Man shows up, and the cop at the front's like, hey, you have to sign in. There's a guest book. And the guy's like, I never sign guest books.
This man never says a word during the entire movie, by the way.
He does.
Does
he? Does.
Wait, what?
During the fight scene at the end with Josie, before he transforms, I think. He calls her, a fucker, and I think that's it.
Oh, I never heard. I don't remember.
It's barely anything.
Okay.
Barely
anything. I honestly don't think he has any lines other than that one.
Anyway, so he transforms and he kills the whole police station.
Mm-hmm.
One by one.
Yes.
As they're all firing on him, and the bullets do nothing. And at the same time, it's cutting back to the group that is inside of FBI DEA man's temporary office, and they're like, wow, it sounds like there's a movie going on out there. Oh, man.
Meanwhile, he leaves because he's like, I'm gonna go kill this fucking werewolf. And he wanders out into the halls. And it is so goddamn funny. It honestly feels like a Scooby-Doo bit to me. Because this werewolf walks into a room full of cops, kills them all, and then walks away. And then as soon as all of the bodies are on the ground, other cop man walks in behind the werewolf from where the werewolf came through and goes, oh my god, all these cops are dead. And then walks through. And then it shows werewolf walk into a new room with like 4 new cops, kill all the cops, and then walks through. And the guy goes, oh man, he must have just been here too. And then walks through. And they just keep doing that over and over and over.
They sure do.
And they even repeat rooms. The werewolf goes into a room full of dead cops, finds new cops that have found the dead cops, kills all of them, and then the man wanders back into that again and he goes like, God damn it, there's even more bodies. What is going on here? Where is this werewolf?
I mean, they did just spawn into the levels, so it makes sense if you think about it. But...
I mean, and now that I think about it, it is a werewolf. Of course he can't find it.
Where is
if it was a...
Yeah, I don't...
If he knew where he was, they would be a their wolf, not a werewolf, so...
Hey, Pagano. Why'd the werewolf cross the road?
Why?
He saw you coming.
So then the group goes out into the room of dead cops and the werewolf, and the werewolf knocks out the cop guy, the FBI guy, whatever his name is, and also the photography guy and the friend, and it's just Josie and him, and then she's like, listen here, Wolfman, the date is over. You're a bad wolf and it's a full moon tonight, fucker. You're going down. I have a gun. Anyway, I'm gonna run away. Don't follow me.
Cop man gets like a beat on him a couple times and just decides not to shoot. They go up to the roof eventually.
They go up to the roof of a different building.
Yeah, oh yeah, very obviously.
Somehow.
It's definitely the box dimension building, right?
It's the box dimension building. Like, maybe they just traveled through the box dimension on accident when going up those stairs. It's real easy to do, I've found out. So...
You can definitely tell that the art studio, the box dimension warehouse thing, and the alleyway and the rooftop of the cop shop are all just the one building.
It's the same building.
It's all just the one building.
But she goes up there. She's like, I'm going to shoot you with this gun that's full of silver bullets or normal bullets. I have a cop gun. I don't know. And she aims it at him, and then the other guy, like the werewolf, looks back at her, and then she aims it at him. Then the werewolf looks back at her, and his eyes start turning red. Then she aims it at him, and she never fucking fires.
Yep. So he jumps on her and knocks the gun away, and is, I don't know,
I think he's
her, but
mauling or dry humping. It's hard to tell. It could be dry humping because he needs to mate with her story. I guess. But then FBI guy like comes out of the box dimension, and he's like, "Hey, I got this." And he's holding the gun full of silver bullets that we've been told the whole movie will kill this werewolf.
Pointed right at the back of this werewolf.
Pointing right at him, he's like, "I got that fucker. You do it."
And he throws the gun! He throws the gun! Boykes, he throws the gun.
He throws the gun on the ground, and Josie's like, I got this.
He slides it to her. Well, she's being attacked.
And then she shoots the gun, but he tells her you have to wait until his werewolf eyes turn red. Otherwise, he's not vulnerable. I play video games. You need to hit them in the red spot.
You have to hit them in the eye. What?
Yeah,
what?
So
is that a rule? What?
It is now. So she shoots her gun, and it immediately turns into a PS2 cutscene of a bullet.
Oh my god!
And the bullet goes towards a PS2 werewolf, shooting it through the eye as the werewolf transforms back into Steven Seagal. And then falls off the roof as he's transforming. And on the bottom of the building, like on the sidewalk, photography guy walks over. He's like, "Well, I guess not all dogs get a bone," or something stupid.
Yeah, there's some terrible
dumb
one-liner.
Fucking one-liner. And then it cuts to the next day, and they're doing like the 80s movie, wow, it's sunny out. and everything's perfect. And she's like, "Hey, FBI guy, you were really good at your job. You were a great protector of me." And FBI's like, "Oh, right, I'm supposed to kill werewolves. I forgot. You're one of them." But he isn't. Instead, he's like, "Hey, I got a joke for you." Knock, knock. Then you can't just end a werewolf movie on a fucking knock, knock joke, a
Yes, you
crossing
can.
the road
Yes,
joke.
you can.
Fucking...
I defy you to tell me that this isn't a movie. I mean, other than it's barely a movie. Then
I think, what was it, Wolf Cop? Another Wolf Cop. We watched the second one, we never watched the first one. I think that movie was more serious than this one. I feel like that one took more care of its own writing and storytelling.
By the way, that is an obvious parody joke movie. Was the whole
yes,
that's
that. This one goes far enough to the point where it's parody, but it doesn't know it's parody.
No, it has no idea. Yeah, it's really fucking funny.
Within that is just this awful, disgusting exploitation film.
Yes, that's the part that sucks, unfortunately.
But then after it gets its jollies from its exploitation, it just cuts to the dumbest fucking thing you've ever seen.
Over and over. Non-stop.
Over and over
It
again.
is non-stop stupidity on a level that I've rarely experienced.
And $2.5 million budget. Like,
That's
goddamn.
wild. I cannot believe they spend that much money on this. This feels like a $100,000 movie.
This feels like a budget film that somehow got way too much, yeah. Anyways, that's Dark Wolf, direct-to-video. It definitely fits the podcast.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an experience.
I mean, honestly, it feels like a reverse dog movie, because instead of cops shooting dogs, we've got a dog killing cops. It's great.
I mean, to be fair, nobody can shoot anything in this movie.
No, yeah, there's... For how many guns there are filled with silver bullets, there is one time when a silver bullet gun gets fired, and that is the very end.
Wait, that wasn't the end. I forgot. After the knock-knock joke, it cuts to Steven Seagal in the morgue.
Oh, it does, right.
And he just opens up his other eye, which was not shot. He's like, "You forgot to shoot me in both eyes, dummy." For no reason.
Slab.
For no reason. Like, is this a lead-in to Dark Wolf 2? What are you doing? Let's rate the dog.
Honestly, it feels like it would be Dark Wolf 5, because, like we said,
because
this
it started
feels...
in the fourth movie.
Yes, yes. This feels like it's already got, like, a whole established lore and world. Like, it feels like Underworld 4 or something, because all of the extra rules around, like, hybrid werewolves, and there's a super werewolf, and you'll totally understand all of this, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
So there's Dark Wolf, who is like Steven Seagal on his 14th Papa John's pizza for the day.
Oh, yeah. This man's huge. Honestly, Steven Seagal wishes he looks like this man, because this dude is actually, like, he's definitely some kind of bodybuilder. He's fucking massive.
I mean, this is a dog that does not like cops, which already pretty high in my book. I mean, he likes funny pranks. He never signs a guest book.
Never signs a guest book.
Would never sign your wedding registry.
Definitely not.
I don't know. I think this is a pretty good dog, all things considered. Maybe an 11 out of 10 for me. It's not, like, amazing, but, you know.
I mean, this dog is, for me, I'd have to say, like, a 20 out of 10. Because that's the number of cops that it piled into that one room.
At least.
Or
now
it could be a severed arm thrown against the door. Do you remember that?
That's true. That was pretty good.
It was real good. There's a scene where he jumps at a cop, and then they just hard cut to a severed arm being like a really, really fake one getting thrown onto it against the door for some reason.
I'm a little torn on the other dog. I'm torn on the other dog. So the other dog would be Josie, who's their other werewolf. Werewolf, maybe. Like, it's not really the same werewolf. It's not even a gorilla costume. It's just, like, weird face makeup and hair.
Yeah, it's just long hair.
But the other problem I have is that, one, she looks like she's about to go to the cats dimensioned.
She looks very cats. Yes.
Very cat face, and then also making cat noises, which I would think would not be a werewolf. However, we saw Full Eclipse, and they made jaguar noises.
They sure did.
So I think that means she has to be a werewolf, like a dog, still.
Oh man, I need the Mario Van Peebles crossover.
The Full Eclipse versus Dark Wolf movie would be so good. Oh my god.
Fuck AVP, let's get the real shit.
I'm gonna rate her a Smurf makeup party out of 10, I think.
I want to talk about the brown face.
You don't want to talk about the other
I
one.
want to talk about the brown face. I will say, one thing that I'm really disappointed about is we didn't get a talking dog during this movie. Like, that guy was silent the whole time. And I really think that if it was a true dog movie, they'd have given him a little peanut butter to make his mouth move so that they could dub over it appropriately, but they just didn't do that for him. And I felt bad for the guy. He deserved some peanut butter for that.
Most people don't know this. They did the same thing in the original Nosferatu movie.
Oh.
They
gave the Nosferatu some peanut butter? Okay.
Yeah, that's how they got him to talk.
You know, I'm changing my rating. He's a peanut butter out of 10 is what I'm hoping for. We need to help him out there a little bit.
Well, anyway, that's it for this week, I guess. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. You know, I do research and I find things, and usually it's pretty good.
This is amazing. I looked for something today, and I just couldn't find anything super compelling. But boy, Dark Wolf.
You can follow us on Blue Sky at Rough Cuts. You can email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com.
If TikTok is still around, you can maybe see some of the clips.
Maybe see clips,
I don't...
but maybe just go to Blue Sky and check them out there. I don't know.
Or Red Note. Will I make a Red Note? I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't know, communist brother.
Thing.
I'm saluting so hard right now. Anyway, that's it. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. You know what? I gotta go make a phone call. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go in the alleyway though, so you don't hear me on the call during the recording, because that would be awkward, right? So